Hey guys, it's Animelover and I'm back with another video. I apologize if the intro audio kind of sucks. I'm in my living room and it just sucks right now. It's just, for some reason, just really loud out here for some reason right now. But I'm back with another review type video. I know I keep doing them. I just have so much stuff and I have to review them because I want to use them, so I have to review them. That's my testing book for this stuff. But this is the brand. So it's Kingart again. I did use the sketch marker ones from Kingart, and they were okay. But these ones were watercolor brush markers, and I've never used watercolor brush markers, like, ever. I just use watercolor from, like, a palette. So I'm very interested to see, like, how these work and just how they are. I am worried if they're gonna, like, chew up the paper, or if they're gonna, like, be, like, hard to use. So I'm very curious to actually see how these are going to work and how they're just going to just work in general to, like, use in general. It does say it's water-based, like, ink, so it kind of makes me think maybe water-based markers, but I also have no idea. I think it's different, so I'm not 100% sure. So there is 36 of them, so let's get to swatching these things. Okay, pause before the coloring swatching process. I thought this was weird, so I opened it, and it went like this. Okay, so it opens up like a normal thing. I can pull it open, and it does this. What the heck? Sorry, that was weird, and I just wanted to show you guys how weird that was. Like, I genuinely did not expect that. Like, I was already kind of confused with how to open it, because it was like a 3 kind of open, but then it was like, bam, open. I like that it's kind of in color order. I might have to reorganize this later, but so far it looks decently good. It's not the best in color order. It's not in rainbow order. That might bug me. I might redo that off camera, guys. You're just going to see it later, just rainbow. But yeah, I just wanted to show you how cool that was because I didn't open it, and then I opened it, and it was cool. So, whilst watching these, I kind of noticed that they definitely did feel a lot better than the last water-based markers that I used, which were the roller art ones, which were insufferable to use. These ones were actually really smooth and really nice to use, and I definitely think it did have to do with the fact that it was a brush tip and not a chiseled kind of tip, which I did mention in the roller art review one, that I think it would have benefited if it was a brush and not a chisel, because it made it less streaky and it made it less where you have to go over it multiple times, which is going to eat up the paper, obviously. So these definitely helped a lot with that. And these ones fared a lot better in my sketchbook, that I actually could do a drawing in the sketchbook. The roller ones couldn't even do, like, not even close could do. So I definitely was a lot more happy with these ones. Color variety, it was okay. I think the browns could have been much more, like, darker, like one light brown and one dark brown, but they were both, like, in the same, like, orangey kind of hue factor, but both were like, really pale, and I wasn't a fan of that, because I was like, I wanted maybe, like, a little bit of a darker color of a brown, but other than that, the colors were, like, okay. Majority of the time, what I've noticed in a lot of, like, when you buy, say, like, a set of, like, anything, they always have an ungodly amount of blues and greens. I don't know why, but they always do. So they always just have, like, an ungodly amount of, like, blues, greens, and, like, every other color, barely anything. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, how does that work? And I understand why. It's probably because they're easier to make, but it's weird that there's barely reds and barely, like, yellows, unless it's, like, neon yellows. So I thought that was kind of weird, but I noticed in, like, everything. So, like, in colored pencils, any type of alcohol markers, any type of anything. And I have noticed it. So it's not, this brand isn't exclusive to that. So it's not the only one that has done that, but it was something I did notice, and it did irritate me, because it is something that irritates me a lot. So I'm showing it on screen, but this irritated me actually a lot when I was doing this, because I was ready to do this and, like, use it as a watercolor kind of brush kind of thing, because that's what it was marketed as. It did not work as a watercolor based marker. That's what it was marketed as. I would presume it is made for watercolors. In other words, you put it on the paper, you get a watercolor brush or paintbrush or whatever, and you try to paint with it. It didn't do anything. Nothing moved when I put it on the paper, and it was fresh, like ink and all that. Like, maybe like 5 seconds it was on the paper, and then I did anything. Maybe I had to put it on a palette or something, but I don't have palettes. But I was just so irritated with that, because I'm just like, wait, why are you not working like how you are being marketed as? Like, yes, it also says it is a water-based marker, but the name of it is watercolor markers. So that definitely pissed me off, like, to no end when I found that out. And I was like, okay, so I just have to use these like normal markers. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool, but you know. So this video is going to be a little bit different of how we normally do videos, which is there's a watermark on the screen. Plain simple, there's a watermark, and the reason why there's a watermark is because this character is actually going to be an adopt, which is basically just a character that you can buy. And normally when I make like videos, I do like my OCs, or I do like a character just randomly. But this character specifically that I made was just something that I pulled out of my head kind of thing, and I was like, well, I like the design. I'm going to sell the design and all that, because I don't want the character, so I'm just going to sell it, because it was a very nice character, and I liked the design of it. If you are interested in this character, I will be putting it on our Toy House and on our Adopt Instagram account. I will also make sure to put if it does get sold, just so people don't go and think they can, still get it and then get disappointed when it's not there. I will do that and all that. But I just wanted to explain why there was a watermark on screen. Normally, our videos don't have watermarks, but because this character is going to be sold and all that, I have to put a watermark just so people don't try to steal it and, like, claim it's theirs and all that. So just in case, more of a precaution on my part, and, like, for the people who want to have this character, then I have to put a watermark on it. So let's get into the pros and cons of these markers. Pros are basically, they are very smooth when you put them on the paper. They are very nice. The brush tip definitely was the way to go with these markers, and I very much approve of the brush tip in general. And I normally don't care for brush tips, like, at all. I can normally work with a chisel, and I'm not really that bothered by it, kind of thing. But these watercolor markers definitely benefited from it being a brush tip. If it was a chisel, I think it would have been a lot harder to use, like I said earlier in the video. But overall, I am very glad that it was a brush tip and not a chisel, so that was something. Another thing I really liked about it was the case. I know I talk about this a lot in, like, a lot of my reviews, and I talk about the case, but the reason why I comment a lot on the case is because I need my, like, art supplies to either be able to go into something so I can store it away, or so I can, like, maybe have it travel kind of ways, or just so it's just organized and it doesn't, like, go everywhere and they're just all out and everywhere. That's the reason why I comment a lot on the cases, and why I really like this one was because of how it was, which I did show my reaction in the very beginning of the video and how happy I was with it, and it does still stay with how it was and how much I did like it. Though there was one thing I didn't like about the case, and it was that the little things that are holding them in are very pointy. I had ended up actually scratching my fingers a lot while trying to actually pull markers out, and when I reorganized the whole marker set, I scratched my fingers like a lot. I think I scratched them at least like 5 times, and that I had to, like, pull them out a different way because of how much I kept scratching my hand. I'm presuming this is marketed towards children, or at least younger, like, teens kind of thing. So that is definitely something I think maybe shouldn't be as pointy, which can then hurt someone like it did me. I, like, didn't really care when I got scratched, but maybe someone younger might care more and might, like, it might actually, like, leave them, like, injured, like, bleeding wise. So just that was my only, like, thing I didn't like, that it was really hard to get them out of the packaging, and that the things that were holding them in place were very pointy. Another thing that I did like, though, was that you can layer a little bit more. I think it took at least 2 to 3 before that, like, it was, like, chewing up my paper. To be fair, I am using paper that is very much probably close to copy paper, so I'm pretty sure that is one of the reasons why it was chewing up the paper a little bit, like, worse and all that. Not 100% sure, but it did chew up the paper a little bit, but it wasn't super noticeable unless you were purposefully doing that. To be fair, also, I was doing it when it was, like, freshly wet, so I don't know if maybe that would change the outcome if it was dry or not. I'm not 100% sure. This also was $10, and I do think it is worth the price of $10. So if you are interested in getting this and you want something cheap that is also simple to, like, use, I would recommend this for $10 kind of thing. The cons, though, was that there just wasn't a lot of colors. And I know that sounds, like, kind of weird. There was a lot of colors. I think there's, like, 36 in it, and I think there just could have been more variety. I think there was more blues and greens in here than there was anything else, and that was kind of annoying because there was, like, maybe, like, a few purples and, like, a few, like, I think there was, like, 2 yellows, like, 2 oranges, I think 2 reds, like, 3 pinks, and, like, maybe 1 not even skin color, I think, 2 browns, a gray, and, like, a black. And I'm just like, and then all the rest of the colors go to the green and blues. And I'm just like, I didn't need this many blues and greens. So I just thought that was just something that definitely did irritate me, that I just wish there was more colors. Another thing that really, really annoyed me is these do not work like watercolors. These are not watercolor markers. It is marketed as watercolor marker, basically, in the thing. It is not watercolor markers. It is just water-based markers, which are 2 different things, I think. Because watercolor markers, I would presume, you can use as watercolor. This is just water-based, and I think it's just you could use them, like, on a palette maybe and use them like watercolor, or they're just easy to use. I don't know. Someone needs to just tell me what the difference is between watercolor and water-based, because I'm lazy to look it up. But I was annoyed because it did not work of how it was marketed, and that's why I actually bought them, was because I thought they were going to be watercolor markers, which is what I wanted to use, because I've never used watercolor markers, so I was very sad that it was not that. Another thing was the layering. You did have to, because of my paper, it was chewing it up, but that's just to be expected with water-based markers, that it will eventually chew up the paper and all that. So it wasn't that much big of a deal, but it was just something you did have to be aware of, and how much you wanted to layer and how much you wanted to do, like, applying a color down. Another thing that did very much irritate me was just there wasn't a lot of hue factors, like, in the colors. I know this sounds weird. It's just all the colors were in the same hue. Like, maybe a few of them were not, but a lot of them were, like, they're very saturated and very, like, just bright colors, if not, like, just barely different from each other. And it was just, it was okay. It made it very hard to, like, mix colors around and all that. Like, it wasn't that bad, but it was very noticeable when I was using the reds and pinks in this drawing. And it was very hard to mix the colors because the reds, like, both reds that I was using were almost the same color in a way. And then all the pinks were very similar and made it very difficult to make anything kind of, like, cohesive, that I had to actually throw a few other colors in here when I was trying to just make it more of a pink kind of, like, drawing. Overall, these weren't bad markers. The only issue that I really, truly have is just they were not what was marketed, and that's truly what my biggest problem is with them, just overall. They're good water-based markers as is. I would maybe use these again just for random doodle type stuff, but not for, like, a full-blown, like, drawing kind of thing, but I will maybe use these for, like, doodles and stuff. Other than that, they're okay. They kind of, like, stick to, like, the kind of Kingart kind of brand of how when I used the sketch ones, where they didn't really wow me, but they also didn't, like, also disappoint me. So either or, I think they are very nice and I think they are very cool. And I would recommend these if you are looking for maybe like a very cheap, very like really nice kind of water-based marker kind of set. Since there isn't really anything else for me to talk about in this video, I'm going to do a little self-promotion because I can. So all of these links will be in the description down below. So if you are interested in looking into these or you are interested in supporting us, then you can go check them out. So if you want to get early access, exclusive art, or want to get really early like art of our videos, then you can definitely go check out our Patreon. We are trying to upload a lot more. We are trying to post a lot of content on there for you guys. So if you are interested, then please consider checking us out there. If you want to get commissions or you want to get like yachas from us, then please consider checking out our Ko-fi. And if you want to get characters or custom, basically characters from us, then you can also check out our Toy House or our Instagram adopt account, where you will find this character that will be uploaded in like basically on the day that this video gets uploaded. I will be uploading it on those accounts. So if you are interested in getting this character or any other character from us, then you can also find them there. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to support us further, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!